dreadlocks is not about appearance. It's what one has at heart, what one has in their mind. You chose to cut them off to fit into the public narrative for the sake of what you believed needed to be done. You set up a leadership school whose fruits we are celebrating today, something that was unprecedented. We wondered what the curriculum was, and it has been asked many times. I heard you mention some of the things you studied, but many people have been asking, what is that school teaching and who are the lecturers? I've been able to see some of them here today. Yes, but that's no mean achievement, and beyond it being an achievement, it also shows the zeal to learn, and understanding that we are not going to keep ourselves in a particular position. We need to inform ourselves in order to do what we have to do. Someone said that, I forget the name, that if he was given a task of cutting down a tree and he was given 4 hours, he would spend the first 3 hours sharpening the axe and maybe 1 hour to cut the tree. You have been sharpening your axe because there was a provision that was set according to the vision, which I really commend. Earlier this year, you invited me to speak to your trainees. It was my first time to visit your facilities. One thing that struck me was how the trainees listened very attentively and with very high discipline for over 3 hours. For over 3 hours, I overstayed my welcome. I was invited to speak for 1 hour, I ended up speaking for 3. But they stayed there listening attentively. And the discipline with which they took instruction from the director, Miss Doreen Kaija, it was really amazing. At the time I visited the school, it had just been violently raided by security and most equipment had been confiscated. I asked if there was a projector that I could use for my presentation. And Doreen responded, "We don't have, everything was taken." But when I entered the room, I found it packed with people waiting for me. I asked them, "You people, how are you able to still gather in this place, yet you know you can be rounded up anytime?" They simply laughed. I found that commitment and the desire to learn quite impressive. The fourth reason why I'm here, now when I'm giving the reasons, it sounds like I'm singing UB40's song. Which song is that? Even Doctor is also into the thing. Yes, reasons why I love you 1, reasons why I love you 2. Now I'm on the 4th reason. This is a selfish one. I'm here to distract myself from the pain of losing my brother and to use this occasion to make reflections on life, purpose and resilience, which could speak to your life experiences and aspirations. When John died, almost everything I have been doing lost meaning. Kati abakamera balinze nkaabe sigenda kaaba. Agala mukwata akafaananyi mukajjeyo nga wayise emyaka ng'akapasita Bujingo mukatambuze. Sigenda kaaba wadde enkovu zinnuma. So when John died, almost everything I have been doing lost meaning. I keep asking myself, what for? What is life all about? What is the actual difference between being alive and being dead? Why do we struggle so hard in life only to vanish like wildflowers? Why do people who try to do good suffer? Why do those who bring pain to others often live long? What is the worth of our effort on earth? Why should we continue doing anything or even continue to live? So many questions, very few clear answers. I will only expand on one here. The question of why we are here on earth is a difficult one to answer. Ensonga lwaki tuli wano ku nsi ng'abantu nzibu nnyo okuzuula. From a religious angle, the answer comes easily, that we are here to worship God and do whatever He created us to do. I would focus more on the second purpose of doing what we were created for. On the purpose of worshiping God, I'm hesitant to believe that a perfect God would create us simply for the sake of singing His greatness. Only imperfect beings wish to be worshipped. I'm therefore more inclined to believe in worship through actions towards our fellow imperfect human beings and other animals. I don't so much believe in worship that is about only singing about God's greatness if that is not reflected in our actions. I think our actions mean much more than what we can see. On the second purpose, how do we know what God created us for? Even the thief might argue that if we say that God knew us before we were born, then God knew that He would be a thief. Therefore, He is simply fulfilling God's plan. The torturer might make the same argument. Maybe that is why they often talk about torturing others and they mention Jesus in the same statement. Maybe that is why they would make public apologies, but without regretting or redressing any specific harm that they did to others. We would argue that perhaps the best way to tell if what we are doing or plan to do is what God created us for is to check if it is in line with what God encourages in the scriptures and what we consider to be God's nature. Can a good God create a person with the purpose of harming others? That would contradict God's nature as we know it. The other approach to understanding our purpose is by simply studying human nature in general and our particular uniqueness as individuals in our circumstances. When you keenly study human beings, you realize that there are two important elements that shape our key life choices. The two elements are happiness and pain. I consider those to be the most important aspects of human life, happiness and pain, and I will explain why. We are trying to maximize happiness for ourselves and to minimize pain or suffering. The reason you graduates chose to study is to maximize your happiness in some way and to minimize the pain that would come from not doing this course or the pain that would come from not being informed. The reason you go to hospital when you're sick is to minimize pain. The reason you seek for a well-paying job is to minimize happiness, rather to maximize happiness and minimize the pain of poverty or being broke. The reason you buy a car or build a house, the reason you produce children and take them to school is more or less the same. The reason why human beings at one point came up with the idea of having a government above them is so that it would help them to do things that they could not do individually. I don't think human beings set up governments as an end in themselves, as that a government was a good thing to be there just as a government. It was set in place to help them achieve things that they could not achieve individually as a way of maximizing happiness, especially to protect their lives, to protect their liberty, or to safeguard it, and their property. People agreed to pay taxes for the sake of what they expected in return. Therefore, governments in the modern sense were precisely created by human beings in order to maximize happiness and minimize pain. Not so that the powerful can maximize their happiness at the expense of the weak or subjects. The forms of government that survive on exploiting those under them have been tried in human history and found to be unsustainable. Even though some parts of the world still insist on them, they are not sustainable and they end up crashing, unfortunately, with so many people over time. We then realize that it is not enough for us to pursue what makes us happy and minimizes our individual pains without regard to the happiness and pain of others. The limit of your search for happiness is that point at which your happiness starts causing pain to others. This is where a sadist's view of happiness becomes problematic. A sadist is someone who gets happiness from the suffering of others. It is a mental disorder. If you ever see someone celebrating the pain of others, and especially if they are not celebrating the pain of an oppressor, then that person has a mental disorder. Because naturally, you would feel bad or something would haunt you if another person is going through pain. A person who celebrates the torture of another is a sadist, except, and I want to emphasize, except if the one whose suffering is being celebrated is the kind that causes pain to others. I'm one of those who believe that it's not a bad thing to celebrate the pain of an oppressor. And I saw people throwing that at me when I lost my brother. But the difference is, my brother was not an oppressor of anyone. I'm not an oppressor of anyone, or so I would want to believe. So celebrating his death wouldn't really make sense in that context. But if the person who has died has been making the life of others unbearable, it is understandable why those people would celebrate naturally. Ideally, as human beings, the most ideal world would be one where we care about maximizing each other's happiness and minimizing each other's pain. Many conflicts in the history of humanity have been caused by a desire of different individuals or groups to exclusively care about their happiness without being bothered about the pain of others. While we human beings boast about being the only rational animals, it is strange how our rationality often fails to show us that a world where the happiness of some individuals is based on the suffering of others is never sustainable. How does our rationality fail to show us that almost obvious case? The one whose happiness inflicts pain on others can never really be happy in the long run. I repeat, the one whose happiness inflicts pain on others can never really be happy in the long run. They live in fear. They keep worrying about what their victims could be planning. Their display of anger and violence is not always because they want to show power. It is mostly because they are frightened. Have you ever observed the reaction of a dog that is trapped in a room when you get in? The anger it shows as it growls is actually born out of fear. That is why the slave abolitioner Frederick Douglass said that no man can put a chain on the leg of his fellow man without at last finding the other end fastened around his neck. I repeat this quote from Frederick Douglass. no man can put a chain around the leg of a fellow man or a fellow woman without at last finding the other end of that chain fastened around his own neck. And it's partly why the oppressors live in fear. Much as they will chain others, that chain is also around their necks. It is not really a good thing to live in fear all the time. One of the reasons they would have high security, unnecessarily high security, is because they are afraid of what those they lead, which is a contradiction. Why should I fear people that I lead? Especially if I assume they love me. Knowing then that no one desires pain, and that often the pain we cause to others ultimately affects our happiness, we should all seek to pursue a life that aims at greatest happiness possible for everyone and the least pain possible. As you think about what you should be as a leader in your different capacities, seek to be that leader who does not prioritize his or her own happiness, even when it harms others. Corruption becomes wrong because of how it harms others for the sake of the happiness of some. I imagine that some of you are planning to stand in the forthcoming election, some of you graduates. I have already seen posters with all sorts of catchy slogans, some clearly deceptive. Do you really mean your slogans, or it is just a bait to catch voters? What is motivating you to stand for that position? What is motivating you to sell your property to raise funds for campaigns? Is it to maximize the happiness of those you seek to represent? Is that the reason why party cards are a do or die? Is that why people fight and treat each other as enemies in elections? Is it mainly about competition to serve? Are these people who are almost willing to kill each other simply competing to serve? That I would die in order to be the one to serve people? I think we need to reflect about that. What is the balance between personal interests? Thank you. What is the balance between personal interests and the interest to serve? While we congratulate you, the graduates, for having accomplished the leadership training, your certificate is not what we celebrate. We celebrate what we expect you to have become. We do not expect you to always remind us about what you studied. We simply want to see the difference in your actions. It should be your actions to announce what you studied, not just the certificate or your words. We don't primarily care about the quality of the dog in the fight. We mainly care about the quality of the fight in the dog. As Wole Soyinka once said, a tiger does not announce its tigritude. A tiger doesn't have to announce that, hey, I'm a tiger. How do you know that it's a tiger? A tiger does not have to announce its tigritude. It pounces. And after it has pounced, then you would know that that is what? Ugandans are in the habit of announcing their titles. I'm Dr. Mchivi Yusuf. I'm Engineer Opolot Patrick. I'm Honorable Gaba James. Yes, but in my view, it would make more sense if it is the people who added the title on the basis of what they see in you. It shouldn't be you to announce your own importance. You could have noticed, and I'm not in the habit of praising myself, just to make the point, you will not see my title anywhere on my social media handles. You will not see Dr. Spire Sentong. It's just my name plain. If one feels I should be called doctor, then they should use the title, but not me to announce it everywhere and to introduce myself. I'm honored to be here. I'm Dr. Spire Sentongo. Yes, I worked for it, But the fact that I worked for it is not the most important thing. To me, the most important thing is what that title can do. Sometimes I've appeared on discussions, talk shows, and I've seen a comment on social media. What is a cartoonist doing discussing politics? I don't have to tell them anything. I don't have to justify myself, to tell them about my qualifications, except on one occasion when I had to do it, when I felt it was quite provocative. I just told the person, here is my CV. I have 4 degrees and 2 of them are first-class degrees. Can I know yours? And I did not get a response. But that's not the important thing. Actually, despite, I mentioned it some time back, despite of all the degrees I have, you will not even find a graduation picture in my house. I don't have even one. For other reasons, but one of them, I don't want to be the one to, every visitor should see, the owner of this house has all these degrees and therefore they know how to behave in the house. First and foremost, they should know that they have visited a human being. That is the most important thing. Uganda is not short of educated people. Uganda is not short of people desiring to be leaders. Uganda is mainly short of people that are willing and ready to use their knowledge and positions for doing good beyond their personal interests. Ugandan politics is not simply short of people of integrity. Rather, Ugandan politics is simply short of people of integrity. And this runs across the political divide, across the spectrum. We have seen crooks in government, and we have seen real crooks in the opposition. Is that true? Yes. We've seen crooks in government and real crooks where? You do not become entitled to being a crook simply because you're in opposition. Recently, when we held the Parliament exhibition with Agora, which Honorable Chagulanyi mentioned, with a few exceptions, I was shocked by the silence of most opposition MPs about the rot in the House. Many of them avoided commenting or even volunteering information about the abuse of taxpayers' money in Parliament, which they were actually aware about. Many of them were quiet. I'm not shocked by the silence of those NRM or independent, but the silence of opposition people when we are here exhibiting Parliament and the rot there. And you try to contact some of the people in opposition whom you would imagine that would be their interest. Nothing. They don't give you any information until it comes out, and then they call you and say, we knew that. We have always known that that thing is happening. So that's why I say there are crooks in government, and there are crooks where? And that being in opposition does not entitle you to being a crook. So many of them avoided commenting or even volunteering information about those abuses which they knew. Like in Animal Farm, we the other animals peeped through the window. We looked at the humans and we looked at the pigs, and we could hardly notice the difference, with a few exceptions. And I'm happy to mention that Honorable Senyonyi was one of those exceptions. That at least once in a while he could volunteer some information, but I'm not going to say which information. Tuli bachama chaffe kutale. Some opposition MPs are part of the schemes where they are given money for trips and workshops that they never attend, or whose days they exaggerate to get more per diem from taxpayers. Even opposition MPs do that. Some opposition MPs took the 100 million bribe that was given recently during the debate on the court-martial issue. And we know it. Some awarded themselves huge packages without considering the pain of the taxpayer and without considering what basic services could be provided with that amount of money. And they reciprocate for these favors by also closing an eye to the theft done by their bosses in parliament. So they make their deals, they are given these trips, for some of which they don't go. But when the speaker or the deputy speaker or other NRM MPs do something, the deal is that they should also close one eye. We need to reflect deeply on that and not simply to identify as opposition if we can still do such things that are against the interest of the country and our people. Now they are back with beautiful slogans on posters looking for votes. I imagine we all know what to do. Remember that being in opposition comes with an even bigger burden of proving to be more worthy than those in power. In assessing your actions, people are assessing to see if you're worth trying, if there is any difference. We may not want to hear this, but some actions of politicians in opposition make people fear to change from the devil they know. I repeat this, which we may not want to hear. Some actions of politicians in opposition make people to fear changing from the devil that they know. At times I have drawn one or two critical cartoons of the opposition, and the insults I got made me scared what such individuals would do to me if they had more power. Like, you have drawn hundreds of cartoons about the other side. You draw just one or two critical of people in opposition and they insult you for 2-3 days. Naturally, you withdraw a bit and ask yourself, if these people actually get more power, what are they capable of doing? Now extend that beyond me, because at least for me, I'll say it. There are many people who are quiet there observing without saying anything. But sometimes you make them change their mind. That if these people are acting like this, without power, what would happen if they have more? I understand that sometimes this is caused by anger. That we are too angry because of all the suppression, all the oppression. But what that oppression, the trap that is set for us, what it makes us do could sometimes be risky. It would change the minds of others. I'm told that some of you graduating are foot soldiers. We have foot soldiers here. Yes. Foot soldiers? Yes. I know, because you're not sure of what I want to say, there are now a few who are identifying as foot soldiers. Yes, I understand some of you graduating are foot soldiers, and I know that you do a great job being there on the front line, sometimes to combat people that we are not able to combat, sometimes to push back against narratives that are misleading. But I would only add a small thing. Mwige okulowoozanga ennyo ku ki ebikolwa byammwe kye biyinza okulowoozesa abantu. Ekiddamu era ne President yakyogeddeko. Mwige okulowoozanga ennyo ki ebikolwa byammwe kye biyinza okulowoozesa abantu. Oluusi muvuma ekiteetaagisa. Sigamba mmwe ndowooza abataliiwo. Oluusi muvuma ekiteetaagisa. Oluusi omuntu anyiiga n'avuma. Ndowooza nange nalinyiizeeko n'envuma. Kati nze nvumira mu katuuni, sivuma butereevu ng'abamu ku mmwe. Naye ate okuvuma tokufuula nkola. Kya buntu olumu okunyiiga n'ova mu mbeera. Olumu bw'ova mu mbeera ng'onyiiza ovuma, naye okuvuma tekulina kufuuka nkola. It should not become a method. Nga n'omuntu akubuuza ekibuuzo okumanya endowooza yo, omuvuma buvumi. Akuwabula naye n'omuvuma. We may say that that is not the official party position, and I imagine so. But we have to tame ourselves as individuals. Every individual, whether you're this side or that side or outside, it's always a good thing to be prudent, to tame ourselves, to know what we should do in particular circumstances or not. Your sense of judgment is best seen in how you react to challenges. Our sense of judgment is not best seen when everything is smooth. Not so. People judge us most by how we behave when we are challenged, not by how we behave when everything is okay. The leadership you intend to show when you get power is first exemplified by how you conduct yourselves outside power, how you use the power you have now. Let your education be seen in that, not just photos and gowns. Abantu bangi batunula mu kasirise betegereza ate tebeerabira. Emirundi egisinga omuntu gw'ovumye teyeerabira, gwe weerabira. Abaganda bagamba nti kyerabirwa mugambi naye kyerabirwa mugambi naye tekyerabirwa mugambirwa. Olw'okuba ovuma abantu bangi ojja kuvuma weerabira. Naye nze gw'ovumye seerabira, era oluusi bwe ntunulako ne ndaba eno profile picture kulina akako fiira yanvumye. So nsigala ekyo kisigalamu, ne bwe twogera naye muli kisigalamu, omuntu ono yanvuma. Naddala bw'onvuma nti wali nsonga, waliwo omuntu lwakuvuma naawe n'okkiriza naye mbadde nsaana okuvumibwa. Ekyo tekiruma nnyo. Kuba emirundi egisinga n'asaana okuvumibwa tamanya nti asaana okuvumibwa. Some of you seated here now might jump the fence tomorrow to the total opposite of what you appear to stand for now. It is actually okay to defect if one realizes on grounds of principle that they were wrong yesterday. Abamu ku mmwe mugenda kukyuka enkya. Muli mu colors zino, enkya bajja balaba mu kala endala. Tewali buzibu ku kukyuka, naddala bwe kubanga ekikukyusizza kulaba nti we mbadde ndi mbadde mukyamu ng'olina ensonga eyesimba, naye si buli kukyuka nti tekulina buzibu. It is actually okay to defect if one realizes on grounds of principle that they were wrong yesterday, or that the group they belong to lost direction. Only a fool doesn't change their mind when there is good reason to do so. However, the reason for your change of mind matters a lot. Jumping from one political affiliation to another in pursuit of positions and personal benefits is a mark of a leader we do not need. I repeat, jumping from one political affiliation to another in pursuit of positions and personal benefits is a mark of a leader we do not need. Also note that defection is not an entirely personal matter. Defection is not only about you, it's not an entirely personal matter. An individual who defects for selfish reasons leaves behind broken hearts of those who believed in him or her, and who might find it hard to ever trust a politician again. Bw'okyuka nga waliwo abantu abadde bakukkiririzaamu ennyo, ate ng'okyusa olwatali nsonga eri awo, naye okyuse lwa by'oyagala okufuna. Abantu b'oba omazeemu amaanyi baba bayitirivu, nga mwe muli n'abo abagamba sijja kuddamu kwesiga munnabyabufuzi. Kati kitegeeza nti tekiri ku ggwe wekka. It's not your decision alone. That decision goes along with so many other people that you're going to affect, but also affecting the country that others desire to see. Some will choose never to vote again because they voted for someone who ended up betraying them. They voted for someone who ended up changing side. Just like some women whose hearts have been broken by a man that they trusted so much, they may now be saying all men are dogs. So ng'omusajja yakumenya omutima yali omu, naye n'oga abasajja bonna mbwa. Kati n'emufa abamala gakyukakyuka mulimu abalowoozesa abantu nti bannabyabufuzi zonna mbwa. Ebyobufuzi tebigenda kuddamu kuntwala kuba omuntu gw'oyiirawo omubiri. Ekyo kigambo kyenkozesezza kyantama n'okuwulira. Era ndowooza ku luno tewali azze ng'asuubiza okuyiirawo munno omubiri. Omuntu gw'obadde oyiirawo omubiri n'ozuula nti ali mu bibye, bw'atuuka eddaala n'alisindika. You're not only accountable to yourself and your party leaders, but also to those that look up to you, many of whom you may never actually know. Lastly, you know better than me that the terrain you are faced with is a rough one. Kino mukimanyi okunsinga. Kyemuyingiridde oba kyemulimu already. Kiki? Kyemulimu kiki? Nga bwe nayogedde nga ntandika. Ffe tubeereeyo ne twewuunya naye abantu abali awo balina kizibu ku mitwe oba conviction ye y'amaanyi ennyo nti n'ebino byonna ebibaddewo era omuntu addayo. Oli n'awandiika ku mukutu nti ngenda kukwasa omutwe n'osanga era ng'omuntu akomyewo ng'alinga agamba oba ogwasa gwase. So kyenva ngamba nti kyemutunuulidde mukimanyi okunsinga. It is a very tough terrain, especially now that we are in election time and that we have someone in charge that we don't know what they are capable of, or we have an idea of what they are capable of, but it is not something that you can look up to. Some of you might die. Abamu mmwe muyinza okufa. Or I can even put it in the affirmative and not threaten anyone. Abamu mmwe mujja kufa. Tujja komawo wano nga tugamba omugenzi gundi twali naye wano. Ekyo sikyogera kutiisa naye tukimanyi kuba bangi nga bwe nagaye ebifaananyi ebimu ebiri awo by'abantu abaafa ate nga baali bannaffe nga n'ekyabatiisa tukimanyi. Some of you might get crippled. It was a very emotional moment when you were handing a gift to one of your comrades who was disabled or was lost his limb when he was doing this work. But we know all the time that we could all end up like that. Recently there was, I think during the Kawempe elections, there is this video which was making rounds that really touched me so much, of a certain gentleman whose leg had been broken, but he was still standing on the, it's called who? Tower. That even with all that pain, with a broken leg, he could still go there and lift it, showing that they've broken my leg. And you know, there are many other people who see that, but they are still willing to go, which is one of the reasons I gave for coming here. Many, in fact, what some of those people don't know, that by doing that, to people who are innocent, you end up emboldening those who are not even concerned. Because they also ask themselves, but how can one be this ruthless? So much as I might not be able to do what you do, but I really admire it. But the point I was trying to make was that all that is going to happen. Some of you might lose loved ones. Some of you will go to jail. I see you holding placards of colleagues, of your comrades depressed. Seek for counseling support. Care about your mental health. Mental health is very important. Sometimes what your oppressor does is to make you lose your mind. And once you lose it, they use it as a weapon against you. Yet you are so be mindful about your mental health, although it's not totally in your hands to choose. It is okay to take breaks once in a while and recollect yourself. You're human and your body has limits. Talk to those who have been through similar experiences, especially trusted elders, and seek for their counsel. I have to underline that, especially trusted elders. I don't agree with the narrative that every elder is one. So when you're challenged, seek the counsel of elders, those who have gone through some of these things and can advise you. Do not open too many fronts at the same time if you can avoid it. Totandika ntalo nyingi omulundi gumu naddala ng'entalo ezimu tezeetaagisa. Omanya olutalo lw'oliko n'otunuulira olwo, obumu obutono n'obwewala n'obuleka. Know when to fight, know when to run. From which song is that line? Yes, The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. Know when to fight, know when to run. Know what to respond to. Know what to ignore. About knowing what to ignore. I don't even have to advise you on that. I've seen some of your leaders doing it very well. There are people who will say certain things and I think they expect now he is going to say something. Total silence. So that is part of the wisdom that we need sometimes. To ignore what we think does not. Kansooke muleke kati ndimuddira nga ateredde. Si buli lutalo. Seek for strategic alliances, not just for building your own power as an individual or as a party. Honorable Senyanyi talked about that, and I think Mr. Katana if you're different camps working towards the same goal, why fight each other? Sometimes this discourages, actually often it discourages people out there. When you see people that you imagine to be working towards the same thing, fighting, you start asking yourself, but are they really working for that thing? Because if they were working towards that, then they shouldn't be fighting each other. So let's look at it. I think it's the spirit that we need. For those that we trust, there are those that might not really be, might not have won our trust. It is a waste of energy and an indicator of selfishness or lack of clarity of purpose for us to fight people who are trying to do the same thing that we are doing. I wish you the very best in your next plans. Go and
when the struggle is over, we shall wear the victor's crown. We shall wear the victor's crown. When the struggle is over, we shall wear the victor's crown. In the new Uganda, people power. Our power. NUP. Bana daktari mukubiri ngale zamani. Sewe bile katonde ngale zamani. Mr. President, because we are programmed with time, I will not waste any other time but invite our Secretary General to take us through the graduation ceremony. Graduation award ceremony. People power. Is it a graduation or award ceremony? Kali ni mwetulira. No, ino si service award ceremony. Mr. Fundraising Committee, in a very special way, Comrade Kaija Dorin, who coordinates the School of Leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, our time is fast spent, so I think we'll do this very quickly. But allow me, Mr. President, first of all, to appreciate you once again for availing the space at Kamocha for our School of Leadership. Masomo ne banyabo, tukyogerako buli kiseera, NUP tesasula ssente okozesa ekifo kye Kamocha awali essomero lyaffe space ya president nga bw'abanyonyodde. Nze nno nagendangayo ku barracks eyo gy'ayogeddeko ne mbasanga nga bali awo. Saagala kwogera ebyali alufe yaliwo mu kiseera ekyo, naye eyo yaliwo. Ogendawo n'obasanga awo nga boogera ebintu, naye mpola mpola nange nayingira ghetto. So I want us to appreciate the president for that. Number two, I want to also add that when the military raided the School of Leadership, the entire library was emptied. Ebitabo byaffe byonna byonna bye twali tukuze ssente nnyingi kusomera eryo baabitwala tebikomangawo, babibba tebikomangawo. And you remember that before they raided, they first summoned us to the police to ask us, what do you teach? And all that. But we told them that you people also have Chankwanzi where you teach people how to steal and hide the evidence and all that. Why are you also bothered by us who are teaching integrity and leaders of value? So they found themselves in a big trouble. But when we went for that meeting, they promised that anytime we shall raid that school and even close it down. But I'm very glad that we are still operating and able to do what we are doing. Finally, on that point, I think you people see why the regime really gets so bothered and even contemplates right now their new target is to see how to deprive NUP of funding. Because they see that the little money we get, we put it to good use. These people who are getting certificates today, have you paid anything? So we are able to run the school, we are able to run these facilities and do other things without charging money, because we use the little money we get for the right causes, for the right purpose. So, like we have constantly said, NRM gets 75% of that money. NUP gets only 12%. But see what we are able to do, the 12%, vis-a-vis what they are doing with the 75%. And imagine if the people of Uganda entrust us with state resources, I think this country will be what? Good. Mr. President and members, I want to also recognize the facilitators. Dr. Spire has given a very, very philosophical message today. I hope we have all picked one or two things. But one of the things he talked about was talking about the people who teach at the school. And the people who teach at the School of Leadership are not paid also. They do voluntary work. Tetusasula bantu bano okusomesa okubawa amagezi ago gonna gemufuna kusomera eryo, so they need to be appreciated. Communication, where is Comrade Waiswa? So come here and people see you and they clap hands for you. So this man has been teaching communication. As you've been told, ladies and gentlemen, these people started. The team we are giving out certificates to today is level 1. Like we explained at the start, there are 3 levels. There's level 1, level 2, and level 3. So this is level 1. And under level 1, we teach political and constitutional history of Uganda. Ebyafaayo bya Uganda babisoma era bano bakuguse mu byafaayo bya Uganda. Netusomesa the philosophy of the National Unity Platform. Philosophy nga tubasomesa values ekibiina kyaffe, structure ekibiina n'ebirala. Bano netubasomesa the art of public communication. Era Comrade Waiswa, era abazze bano ne boogera mulabye nti bakuguse nnyonnyonnyo musomere erya art of public communication. We are very, very proud of those people who spoke on behalf of the teams. Baina essomo lye bayita pathways to political change. Eryo zibu nnyo sigenda linnyonnyola ne mu Luganda. Then ne basoma leadership with action. Not just being a leader, but how do you impact lives and society. Then ne basoma governance and civil liberties. Bano abantu, Mr. President and our keynote speaker, bakuguse mu nsonga y'okumanya eddembe lyabwe. Era bano tosobola kubanyigira mu ttooke kubanga bamanyi eddembe lyabwe welitandikira ne welikoma. So badde nkya recognizinga ababasomeseza ne bagamba nti public communication abadde abasomesa omuyi gwe bayita Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro n'okugatako Innocent Tegusulwa. Kitegeeza byabasomeseza mu bikutte nnyo. NUP philosophy abadde agibasomesa mulimu Sebufu John Mary, Comrade Sebufu John Mary may not be around. Omulala Yekeya Jeremiah. Omulala gwe bakazako erya Dosi mulaba wali Alex Rovans Lwanyaga. Sebo keynote speaker owulidde nti serious nno bw'okyaleeti toyingira ate oluusi era oyo omusajja ali ludda wa Razak bwe bawadde award abadde ng'ayitamu ng'alaba ani ayogerera ku ssimu so mumulaba ono oyo amonitoringa classes ezo. Leadership with action tubadde tulina Dr. Kanabi Moses, organizing secretary waffe, ne tubeera n'omukulu Sserunjogi Charles Musoke, ne tubeera ne Madam Sara Muwonge Mukisa. Ate gwe people power. Kakati kusonga eddembe ly'obuntu babadde basomesebwa Sekanjako Abubakar ye munnamateeka, Keya Jeremiah naye abadde abasomesa, ne tubeera n'omukulu Katumba Faizo. Katumba Faizo yasooka n'abeera omuyizi ku ssomero eryo, naye because he was one of the best students he was retained. Era eyo poliisi yaffe nti abayizi abakola obulungi ne basukuluma ku banaabwe tuba retaininga ate ne bayigiriza abalala. Kubanga enjogera ya Geto egamba bw'obuuka n'otabuusa oba tolina nsonga lwaki wakola ki? Bw'obuuka n'otakola ki? Oba tolina nsonga lwaki? Baddeyo mu Geto mu Kampala Central n'esanga omwana n'akanjigirizaako. Kakati essomo eriri ttaafu ly'embagamba erya Pathways to Change babadde basomesebwa Katana Benjamin ali awo omukulu, owokubiri nga ye mwami Kenneth Paul Kakande abataddemu ekikuli kyonna. Era ne John Lusebufu oluusi ng'abasomesa ku nsonga eyo. Kaakati ebyafaayo no bw'obiwulira oba olowooza nti abasomesa mukadde nnyo ebyafaayo naye abadde abasomesa asooka bamuyita David Lucy Lubongoya. Abasomesa byafaayo omulala ye Kibuuka Moses muyaawo Mosh, omulala nga ye Dr. Kanabi, omulala nga ye Mukalas Deus. Simanyi oba ali wano. So those are the facilitators at the School of Leadership. So ladies and gentlemen, and I also want to appreciate the guest speakers. As you know, our classes are on Tuesday and Thursday. But on Wednesday we have a guest speaker, a guest lecture, and Dr. Spire came in, and many other leaders, including the Lob, have been going there. Even the president himself has been coming every once in a while to speak to this. These are the people who have done all the time, but we also have sessions of a few people who come and lecture and go. So we had groups coming in from Gomba, from different places, Wakiso and others, to come in and just get trainings for 1 day, for 2 days, and all that. So ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the reason why we are here. I'm going to invite you, Mr. President, our guest speaker and deputy presidents, to come and we begin the certificate awarding ceremony. So we are moving on to award these wonderful people. Abazadde mwebali. Kununo temwawerera baana naye mwabazaamu amaanyi era namwe tubebaza. No, I think you need to come this way like this. Yeah. You give this.
Sabla. I got it.
All right. So we are going to begin with Class A. Class A is of the foot soldiers. The School of Leadership, we have three classes, three categories. The first one is Class A, foot soldiers. The second one is professionals, Class B. And number 3 is elected leaders. And but now this time around we have some people from the diaspora who are also awarded. So, okay, the very first one is Babirye Amina.
Dogo City. Dogo City.
Webale nsiba yo sokisi jikolanga kona. Me wansa tesitu. Tugende.
Yeah, so once you get your certificate and the president gives you the pin, no, the parents will come later for the pictures because we need to do it very, very quickly. Bale Hassan, Obgaloba Bale Hassan. Then to Buyondo Farida. There's an interesting group of two people who were studying and disturbing each other. Tuina Byaruhanga George. Obugaluwa Byaruhanga George. Byekwa Sosam. Ono ye. Oyo muzoga nyoyo. Dumba Habad. Jai Muzamiru. Is Muzamiru here? Oh yes. Guy Muzamiru. Asad Sonko. Oyo Sonko gwemulaba ye ya paintinga offices zino za National Unity Platform. Kabale Ali. Kabito Alex ngasulira vibe ya manyawo nokubateka mupayi. Kachubi Muhammad Sendaula. Tuna Kakande Ali Banks. Kamia James. Katabas James. Katoka Wesa Misaili. Kazibwe Gerald. Chibirango Andrew. Are you around? Chibirike Ezra. Chikozi Salim. Chikozi Salim. Esawa yonna. Chisache David Makumbi. Chifumbi Emmanuel Joel. Chifumbi Emmanuel Joel. Chankanga Simon. Chankanga Simon. Rebecca Medi. Rebecca Med. Abazadde nga temukuba mu ngalo bannange. Lumisa Ivan. Lumisa Ivan. Lutaya Jacob. Lutaya Jacob. Musajja ono ayambadde ba political prisoners. Luiga Moses. Luiga Moses. Muyanja Sharif. Muyanja Sharif. Mbabazi Anet. Mbabazi Anet. Mbabazi Anet. Musisi Difference over Defiance. Musisi Aliwa. Egwe Defiance over Difference. Difference, yeah. Musoke Paul. Musoke Paul. Nabosa Juliet. Nabukenya Betty. Nadamba Shailen. Namazi Agnes. Namata Brenda. Namata Brenda. Namuleme Regina. Namulema Regina. Ha, mama ngole sate ebyaka bibenda bawo. People power, our power, NUP, everywhere, Namte Bisara. Namuyanja Farida, Namuyanja Farida, Namuyiga Esther. Banango oyo bajja kuire President salute engeri gyayambadde n'obukambwe bwonna bwalina genda wali bakuwe certificate yo bwomala. Nancha Fiona. Nancha Fiona. Nanono Aisha.
Kakubiro kabuze kaliwa kozi kali wange waka.
Omukyala gwemba gavumenti ayambadde bulungi ayina ekigambo kino Dr. Kyabadde ayogera kill one nene join. Otaawo omu abalala ne beegatta ku struggle. Nantaba Rita. Nantaba Rita. Nantaba Rita. Nanyunja Farida. Ndawula Rajab. Ndawula Rajab. Usubuga Gaida. Jida, Nsubuga Jida. Nsubuga Dennis. Nsubuga Dennis.
Hello.
Nsubuga Ronald. Nsubuga Ronald. Then we have Sewanyana Sharif. Sewanyana Sharif. Sebange Vincent. Sebange Vincent. Sebowa Abdul. Sebowa Abdul. Ha, onuka msembe ukapoja boba sembe ayo wanawali. Sega wa Sulaiman. Segirinya Rashid. Segirinya Rashid. Segirinya Rashid. Segu ya Zaidi. Segu ya Zaidi. Ha, omuzoga nyono na yasome. Sema anda Brian. Sema anda Brian. Ya sema anda yali abuze bibuze bya magezi nyonyo. Sempita Fabian. Sempita Fabian. Senchima Francis. Senchima Francis. Senchima Francis. Senyonjo Alex. Senyonjo Alex. Seruga Moses. Seruga Moses Omuzogani. Shemerirwe Lilian. Shemerirwe Lilian. Wakayinja James. Wakayinja James. Waswa John Bosco. Waswa John Bosco. People power. Our power. NUP. Everywhere. Kakati kawakili alinge wano waliwo benjagala okusembyayo ate okubasembyayo kakodyo. Omwami yakonvisinga omukyala ne basalawo bonna basome. Era bwe nagendanga okubasomesa nga mbaawula kubanga babeera mu kiraasi nga beekuba obwama bagamba mmwe buli omu atuule yekka naye nga baakabi nnyo. Segawa Shafik ne Segawa Jamila era obalaba batudde bombi awo ate ekyo kikirizibwa ku lunaku lwa award ceremony. Komanda Shafik n'ekyembeeyi kye basoma ne bamaliriza bulungi nnyo. Tusaba n'abafunye certificates mu klasi ya foot soldiers mujje mulimirire wano mufune ekifaananyi ekyawamu ne certificates zammwe very quickly. Kale muyimirire bulungi nga mutunula eri president agenda bajoyininga ne keynote speaker waffe ow'olunaku olwaleero. People power. Lero kutoba ya engombo y'abakusoja aba National Unity Platform. bagamba leero bali mu kutoba naye nca inshallah bajja kubeera mu kuvimba nga bazimba Uganda empya. Mr. President, keynote speaker, please come and have a photo moment with this wonderful group of people. Yeah. Okay, Mr. President, they are waiting for you to come and have a picture with them. People power, our power, NUP, everywhere, even here. Mr. President, in the middle of that, along. These are the wonderful people from the class of foot soldiers. Our power, NUP, everywhere. Chakabinyo, katugende klasi dala. People power. Okay. Katugenda class ya professionals. Professionals class is the next. The first one here, Agele Ismail Aliga. Kunga professionals, kunga. Kunga professionals, kunga. Aisha Nalweiso. Omugalo wa Aisha Nalweiso. Bafoot soldier bashite mutula banange. After that mujja kufuna ebifaananyi. Aloyo Daisy Grace. Aloyo Daisy Grace. Adono na ye asoma na kuguka. Wengine oyita. People power. Era aliao hizo close simu zogani. Atusinguize Jona. Oya kulembera media team ya fe. Era omulawa bwali smart nyo nako lwalero. Atusinguize Jona. Wewe lenyo sebo kubisoma noberayo.
Njikuba nojikola bizoro banyuma bate badegenda.
Babilie Lilian Lydia.
Banji.
Tuina Bale David. Bale David. Tuina Belinda Grace. Belinda Grace. For the media, you need to know that today we have 104 awardees. The last time we had 104, now we have 184. Tulitwa ina abantu 10 mu bana, olunaku lwalero tulina abantu 18 mu bana. Bukenya Angelo. Bwambale Francisco. Bwambale Francisco. Kabushenji Laban. Kabushenji Laban. Kagulu Samuel Kategaya. Kagulu Samuel Kategaya. Kaija Irene. Kakande Leviticus. Kakande Leviticus. Naine linnya ly'ekitabo kiramba mu Bayibuli. Kasirye Derek Peter. Kasirye Derek Peter. Kasirye Ronald Samuel. Bwe baba bakwata vibe ate n'odaba vibe obeera mukyamu. Kasule Jovius Peter. Kasule Jovius Peter. Kayongo Gerald. Kayongo Gerald. Kayongo Gerald. Chigundu Peterson. Chigundu Peterson. Keya Joseph Dewo. Keya Joseph Dewo. Kobusinje Sanyu. Kobusinje Sanyu. Kalumba Irisa. Lubwama Stewart. Lubwama Stewart. Lutwama Peter. Lutwama Peter. Masete Paul. Masete Paul. Namkula cheni katoto. Mayanja Fred. Mayanja Fred. Mbabazi Lydia. Mugabe Ronald. Mugoma Didas. Mugoma Didas. Mugoma Didas. Muhindo Charles. Muhindo Charles. Oyo mukulu abadde avaka sese n'asoma n'addayo. We have Mukambwe Alex. Mukambwe Alex. Okay, let's wait for the line to clear a bit. Mukasa Isaac. Mukasa Isaac. Musibala Peter. Nabata Namuli Joyce. Nabata Namuli Joyce. Nabwami Teddy. Nabwami Teddy. Nakafelo Gloria Mugerwa. Nakafelo Gloria Mugerwa. Nakakwa Angel. Nakagawa Angel. Nalumu Merap. Nalumu Merap. Naluwaga Imelda. Naluwaga Imelda. Lubagumya Charles. Lubagumya Charles. Obugalo bwa Lubagumya Charles oyo yali candidate waffe mu Kawempe North mumujjukira yali agala bwa MP era process bwe yaggwa y'omu ku abo abaasigala nga batambula n'ekibiina bulungi nnyo. Sebo simanyi oba waliwo weesimbyewo saagala kukubira campaign. Saagala omukubire bye weesimbyeko naye era walaga empisa ennungi eri ekibiina. DJ, as we try to clear the line, kayimba katambula mpola mpola sebo DJ. Tomusange William Bifachi Bishop oyo naye olunaku olwaleero abimaze. Sansa Charles Lwanga Serwaji Elijah ne Senyondo Esamo Semugalu Edward Semugalula Edward Sematimba Vivian Sekono Joseph Sekamanya Christopher Sengendo Yusuf Semunya S. Sulaiman Oyo Dax Cartel Jangono ne certificate yo Semunya S. Sulaiman Sanya Boniface People Power Our Power NUP kakati twagenda okusembayo mu kategori eno aina ka special request kakoze kakuyite wano ngenda kwe edakikemu yokka oyogere kyoyagala okwogera nowasa
A people power, our power, NUP, everywhere. Erinnya lyange niwasasira Penrop Amina Sebugenyi kuva mu Kampala Central, Seni 3 Parish, yenegwaniza okukiikirira. Nsabye omuzindaalo guno okwebaza Mwami Sebugenyi Abubakar. Omwami oyo mwami wange yerekereza ebintu ebingi nabeera ewaka nakuuma abaana nga ndi mu struggle nandeka nensoma nenkomawo ewaka saawa 4 za kiro nantankuba emiggo ndakadde mwebaze nasoma abantu era musabe angumikiririzeemu akaseera kano paka nga tuyingidde Uganda empya.
Webale nnyo okukkiriza mukyala akola emirimu gya struggle era genda ne pulezidenti akuweeyo ku bugalaawo okwateko mu ngalo nenuwasasira Penrop. Walugembe Arnold Uza Balichiriho Viatori all the way from Kisoro. Viatori ulakoze cyane. Hey, this is Viatori from Kisoro. People power, our power. Mwebale nnyo kati abaklasi eyo katufune ekifaananyi ekyawamu era tugende ku kilasi eddako. Professionals, do like the other class did and take a picture with the president and people power. President asazeewo ono omwami okumuwa pineeyo enyota gye mulaba wano olw'okuba nti naye waliwo walwanira awalala. Okay, Mr. President, our guest speaker and the Deputy President, please step forward and let's have a picture with these good people. Thank you very much for being very smart. Katei jangu wano sebo a president wajja sebo yogera ekigambo kimu kyokka ng'oyimiridde wano nga bwe tulinda president. People power, our power. Ningakozesa bisatu president managerwayo bannange abalungi abattu njagala kwebaza bayizi bannange betusomye nabo bonna mu classes zonna ne bannamawulire bonna. Kino guno obubaka njagala mbusindika eri ba artists mu ggwanga lino naddala abayimbi. Njagala kubagamba nti enkyukakyuka bw'ebeera ejja bino bye bintu bireeta. Olaba abantu abatasaanye nga basaanye. So njagala bakulira omulanga lwe bamusuubira nti nno gavumenti eyo esobola okukyusa embeera yammwe. Bannange mwerimba mulina kwegatta ku bannammwe bayimbi bannammwe ne musobola okukyusa embeera gye mulimu n'abantu bammwe. Ensonga lwaki waliwo essomero lino si kugezaako kubaako birabi tukulabula kugezaako okubangula n'okufuna obukulembeze obujja. People power, our power. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, people power. Tuli mukuba ekifaananyi bannange. Mwemirire wano babalaba ab'ebifaananyi. All right, people power. Mwebale nnyo basebo ne banyabo. Tuli kumpi kumaliriza omukolo gwaffe. Laba omuntu bw'ajja nga werekeddeko munne ate n'amaliriza naye ng'afunye award ey'akabi. Kale, elected leaders oba abantu already abali mu bukulembeze. Asooka Bukirwa Aida. Basaba abamaliriza mutule so that people can see the other class. Isiko Jamil. Wena tete yote mulabe. Jagwe Anthony. Kabanda Nicholas. Kaliba Sad. Etwelane Katikamu Ronald. Olaba wana these elected leaders bazene gali ezikuwa Chikozi Rose Nalugwama obawulira lamba bambadde zi reflector jacket zonna Chigozi Salim. Chigozi Salim. Chisauzi Alex. Chisauzi Alex. Chisauzi Alex. Chomuhanji Margaret. Chomuhanji Margaret. Luswata Peter. Luswata Peter. Luswata Peter. Lutalo Davis. Lutalo Davis. Makula Vicky. Makula Vicky. Muganzi Edilita. Muganzi Edilisa. Migamba Susan. Migamba Susan. Matovu Sharif. Anumsenda mzoga nyinyo. Matovu Sharif. Matovu Sharif. Navido Shamim. Navido Shamim. Nagudi Asia. Nagudi Asia. Nachito Sama. Nachito Sama. Ha, bado za Sama yuji ya kulembera ba mauli ya Samina eka mchana. Sara. Ha, Nagudis nyabo wasomero bimala. Ono musoga ni nyonyonyo. Nagudi Asia. Obugalo bwa comrade Nagudi ebyo byakola mwena mubimanyi. Nalubwama Esther. Nalubwama Esther. Nakato Gertrude. Nakato Gertrude. Nalumu Harriet. Nalumu Harriet. Nantaba Florence Sonko. Nantaba Florence Sonko. Sembatia Richard. Sembuze Siraje. Sembuze Siraje. People power. Sekamanje Savio. Sekamanje Savio. Semuja Hakim. Semuja Hakim. Sesenga Hamza. Sesenga Hamza. Tushabe Margaret Chom. Tushabe Margaret Chom. Uwineza Sadiq. Uwineza Sadiq. Wengine kusembea mkategori no president amogedeko yali ghetto youth aina avayo na sarao kwenye kiambia mkulebete nafuka kansala bamuita Twaha Chagason Abdul. Twaha Chagason Abdul. Amin. Yomulaba kansala yenakawa. Thank you. Okay, elected leaders, please step forward for your photo moment. Step forward, elected leaders. Doreen. these ones, I'm just going to read the list, but let's have the picture first. Let's have the picture first, and then this other category will not take a long time, because majority of them are not here. Okay, Mr. President, if you could join the team and the Deputy Presidents. Please step forward and let's have great. Let's have that photo moment. Our representative is the diaspora Muliwa. Please step forward, the representative from the diaspora very quickly. People power. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. A big hand clap for that group, for that class. Nakai Janat and Balwayo Joshua, please step forward very quickly. Nakai Janat and Joshua. Nakanwaji Aisha. These ones. People power. The final category we have abasemberayo ddala bebantu baffe abafuna online classes. We are making sure, I was even trying to audit okulaba nga bafunye obudde obwekana n'abalala ababadde basomera wano. Lisi yabwe ngenda gisoma naye balina abakiikiridde wano kamwedakiikemu akyogere.
Thank you very much. People power, our power, NUP, and everywhere. Thank you very much. My name is Amkondi Muhammad Matovu, and I'm on the National Executive Committee NEC on UAE Stroke Gulf. Mumbere yonsaba mbategeeze nti ndi wano presenting the Gulf Stroke UAE. Eranga mubudde buno mwani acting ambassador of UAE Stroke Gulf. Abakulu abo n'abakyala ababeereeyo abamu be tuyita bakadama ne basekadama bantumye okutegeeza coordinator waffe owa institute nti nno obuzibu obwagwawo bwe batwala ebintu byaffe ebimu ebitusomesa nga mwe muli projector. We will be able to deliver a projector to our institute. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Comrade Sasi Marvin, where are you? Sasi Marvin, I want to hand over, the president will hand over these certificates to you and this comrade, because this is the diaspora class. Naye aba diaspora kambasome nga bwe mbakubira mu ngalo bannange. Asooka ye Allen Tibasania awangalira Saudi Arabia. Owokubiri Asime Richard UAE. Atwire Jessica Saudi Arabia. Baguma Joseph Qatar. Churchman Mwanguzi Qatar. Sise Nalugwa Qatar. Eddie Subi Qatar. Gerald Magara Qatar. Innocent Ainebyona UAE. Justin Naroga Qatar. Kaitesi Fazira Qatar. Kakande Ibrahim Taki. Kakembo Paul Qatar. Kalule Arnold Subi UAE. Kamoga Ismail Qatar. Chilia Saadi Qatar. Kijambu Geoffrey Qatar. Lubega Kenneth UAE. Luzi Aloysius Qatar. Mubilutwa Saudi Arabia. Muhammad Matovu igwanga temulitaddeko wano. Oh, you see, Kenya obuwangalirawa
Wangalira UAE, but right now I'm acting ambassador of Gulf and UAE in Uganda.
Nasasira Brian UAE, Natasha Mariam UAE, Sereko David Kata. Kitegeeza wali osoma ng'oli mu diaspora kati kivola tebataddeko. Sereko Freeman